There are two ways to get to RMA Valuation Edition. The first is on our website. This gives you the ability to search for data, review it, and download it directly into Excel. If you're using one of our software programs like Express Business Valuation, ValuSource Pro, or Business Valuation Manager Pro, you can access RMA Valuation Edition directly through those applications.
When RMA appears, you'll see three sections of the screen. The top section is for searching and selecting data. The middle section is for reviewing the data. And the bottom section is for exporting that data to Excel. To select RMA data, start with the year. Select the drop-down and you'll see every year of RMA data you've purchased from ValuSource. Notice you can also download multiple years at once, which can be very handy in benchmarking more than 1 year of financial statements at a time. The next step is to select an NAICS code. You can select the drop-down box and select one, or you can search. We'll type in public account for public accounting and select search. You'll notice in the drop-down box, Offices of Certified Public Accountants shows up. The next step is to select the criteria. You want to sort by assets, sales, or historical. We'll select sales. You can select regions. In the Valuation Edition, not only do you have the National Edition, but you have 6 different regions to select from. We'll just select the National Edition for this example. And for range, we'll select 1 to 3 million. Now let's review the data that gets downloaded. The first tab is the Summary tab, which shows a summary of all the RMA data. The next tab is the Income Statement. It's the same variables that you would normally see in the Standard Edition or the RMA book, but you'll notice one difference, and this is where the power of the Valuation Edition comes in. Instead of just seeing the average, you see every decile from the 10th to the 90th. This allows you to rank instead of just simply benchmark. On the balance sheet, you'll see the exact same thing. Every balance sheet common size listed from the 10th decile to the 90th. Ratios, again, shows you every decile from the 10th to the 90th. There's so much more data in the Valuation Edition, and this extra data gives you an ability to become more precise. Let's take a specific example to get a better understanding of how ranking is different than just standard benchmarking. Let's assume we're going to benchmark a CPA firm against industry norms, and we're looking at operating expenses. And our target CPA firm has an operating expense percentage of 85.1. If we look at the average in RMA, we'll see it's 85%. If we just did that, we would assume that our CPA firm was an average in relationship to operating expenses. But if we look at the 50th percentile, or the median, we see that the number is 89.3%. So in reality, our CPA firm is actually below the norm for operating expenses in this industry. When you export this data to Excel, you have the option of exporting an analysis worksheet where you can put in subject company financials. In that spreadsheet, it will automatically rank your subject company against industry norms. So for example, in our operating expense example, the ranking might be something like 43%. Now what that says is that 42% of the CPA firms in the sample have an operating expense that's less than 85%, or our target company. That's much more precise than saying we're a few percentage above or below the average or the median. It really gives you a very precise way to see where your company fits within the industry. It also gives you a very precise way to communicate that. We feel this adds a lot of credibility to the benchmarking report. Let's take a quick look and see how we export this data to Excel. Go down to the bottom and select the Data button, and it'll automatically appear in Excel. Here's the data we were reviewing in Excel. You'll notice it looks exactly the same way as it did on the web. You have the same tabs: Summary, Income Statement, Balance Sheet, and Ratios. Not only can you export the data into Excel, but you can export the data into an analysis sheet, which allows you to type in your company information. You can type in the balance sheet, you can type in the income statement, and then you can get comparisons. And you'll notice there's a column for ranking. When you type in your company's information, every item will be ranked. In other words, what percentile is it between 10 and 90? And it'll give you a specific percentile. This is a very powerful way to take a look at how your company compares to industry norms, looking at the ranking of every variable. Once again, rather than saying every variable is at, above, or below industry norms. Now let's take a look at how we access RMA Valuation Edition from software, in this case ValuSource Pro. When you're on a sheet that does a comparison or uses the data, you'll notice at the top there's an option, a button, that says Get RMA Data. If we select Get RMA Data, it'll automatically bring up the RMA analysis. You'll notice it's integrated into the application. And you have the same tabs: Summary, Income Statement, Balance Sheet, and Ratios. You also can search the exact same way you do on the web. Once you select the data that you want, select Download Data, and it downloads into the sheet. The thing to notice is that the ranking happens automatically. In other words, all of the calculations for ranking happens in the spreadsheet. So for everything from the common size income statement, balance sheet, and ratios, gets ranked.
So that's all there is to it. Whether you're using Excel and want to get the data into Excel, or one of our analysis sheets to do automatic ranking, or you want to get the data into one of our valuation applications, it's simple and easy, and all the extra data, including deciles and regions, are available.